24th July, we arrived in Newfie to 10 degrees and horizontal rain. What's more, we had no sleep on the flight over here. Between crying babies and interruptions from staff, we got halfway over, the lights were all turned on, everyone was woken up with an apology that they had forgotten the life jacket part of the safety briefing. So we had to sit through that in English. Then, because none of them spoke French, they had to go through the whole safety briefing, starting with seatbelts to exits, before the pre-recorded French briefing explained the life jacket bit. Then, every time the captain put the seatbelt sign on, the staff would turn on all the lights and go through the cabin to make sure we all had our seatbelts fastened. Yep, it was a fun flight. Not. However, the people here in Newfoundland are just fantastic, which more than makes up for a night with no sleep. Day 57, 25th of July. I just had 12 hours sleep, nice and cozy, under 2 blankets and a duvet. Then a leisurely breakfast at McDonald's, and then we set our GPS for sightseeing in St. John's.
Downtown St. John's, right at the port. Here we are on the top of Signal Hill over St. John's, and apparently this is pretty normal. Planes just landing, they just drop out of the fog. We're told we're really lucky because it's not fogged in today. You can just see a sailboat maybe there sailing out into the fog. See if we can get down to that lighthouse later. Joss is all excited. Yay!
I love this place. All the bright coloured houses, Signal Hill, Cabot Tower, meeting Chieftain, a black Newfoundland dog, a 20-minute video on the history of St. John's, and the constant struggle between the French and English as to who has control over the land and therefore control over the very lucrative fishing.
Some of the big type of guns they had here. And that's Jocelyn. Turn around, Joss, so we can see you. There we go.
I'm not standing on the edge.
She is close to the edge. See? With all the big cannons perched up on Signal Hill, overlooking this narrow entrance to the harbour, it made it very easy to defend St. John's from any attack from the sea.
We got to see the tattoo while on the hill. Fact, a battalion was sent from Newfoundland to Gallipoli. Even though they arrived in September, they did have a good rapport with the Anzacs. Then moving on to Cape Spear, both the new and the old lighthouse.
There's our camper down in the park out at Cape Spear. We just come to have a nosy because Joss loves lighthouses. And there's one here. On the point is the one that's going today. That's the old one.
This is the most eastern lighthouse in the North American continent. It is also the oldest surviving lighthouse. The bonus was, as we sat on the hill by the lighthouse, we got to watch whales swim past for half an hour.
take a look up the coast here. And a wee look around this area. She's pretty windswept and barren. Yeah, and she says I'm always on the edge. Look at her there, right on the edge of the cliff. Yeah.
This is very rugged, yet very spectacular coastline, and from there we could look back to St John's and the harbour entrance.
We are looking back at St John, and the gap is over there somewhere.
There's St John's in the middle, just through the gap in the hills. They used to have these huge guns here during the Second World War.
Heading a little further south, we drove through Maddox Cove and Petty Harbour. I thought it should have been called Pretty Harbour, one of the oldest fishing harbours in North America, and it was cool to watch a fisherman clean his catch with the largest cod we had ever seen. Fact: there are no lakes on Newfoundland. No, not one. However, there are ponds of various sizes. Some you could mistake to be lakes, but no, they are ponds. A little further south took us to Witless Bay, where we spent the night parked on the beach. Yes, parked on the beach. We were told freedom camping was welcomed and we could park anywhere that wasn't labelled private. We were amazed at the seemingly safe bays there are on this rugged coastline. The weather is still overcast, but it is supposed to be clearing after the weekend.